Wow, it's hard to believe, but it's the last session of the day. C'est vraiment difficile à croire, mais nous voici à la dernière séance de la journée. Over the past 2 days, we've heard from industry leaders, thinkers, and experts on a variety of topics and issues. We've looked at our present, and we've gazed into what the future may hold for the travel and tourism industry. In this final session, we'll be exploring how national action plans affect you in your respective province or territory, and how your region is working with TIAC to rebuild Canada's visitor economy. Lors de cette dernière séance, nous étudierons comment les plans d'action nationaux vous concernent dans votre province ou territoire respectif et comment votre région collabore avec l'AITC pour rebâtir l'économie touristique et l'industrie du voyage du Canada. We hope you enjoy these regional sessions.
Hello, everyone. I'm hoping you can all hear me, and we're ready to roll for the afternoon, the last session. Thank you to TIAC for inviting us to participate in the Congress, and thank you to all of you for joining today. I would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which I'm speaking to you all from is the traditional and unceded territory of the Abegwit Mi'kmaq First Nation. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Corinne Clements. I recently joined the team at PEI in June as the Chief Executive Officer, but have spent the better part of my career in tourism. A little bit about PEI. We are a nonprofit membership-based organization dedicated to the promotion and advancement of the tourism industry here on Prince Edward Island. Some of our goals are to promote and advance the tourism industry, to strive for continued development and improvement of our facilities and services offered to the public. And one that we are really focused on right now is to create a wider interest in and appreciation of the industry among the general public here in Prince Edward Island. In the past number of years, we've prided ourselves on our numbers. We've created just under 9,000 full-time equivalent jobs here on Prince Edward Island. The economic activity is about 6%, a little over 6% of the GDP, the highest percentage in any Canadian province. And we have an estimated 1.6 million people visit us last year. Our tourism operators have done a wonderful job advancing our product here on Prince Edward Island, whether it be experiential, authentic culinary activities. We have Indigenous tourism product that has really been advanced over the last number of years too. Some of the training products that we focus on here at PEI is we have the eMerit tourism products. We do job fairs, culinary job fairs, entry-level cook training, tour guide training. So these are all some of the traditional packages and training that we've provided. With that, we work in close partnership with the Food Island Partnership. We work with Tourism PEI, as well as Holland College and the Culinary Institute on a number of culinary programs. Let's just jump right into what happened. It's the story that none of us can avoid. 2019 to 2020, what a difference a year makes. We were hit with the COVID pandemic in March, and as you can see, the impact to our industry was devastating here on Prince Edward Island. We took the initiative right away to adapt and make some changes. We partnered with ACOA to do an Atlantic Canada tourism study. We established the Tourism Strong website, and we reviewed our training programs to look at new and innovative ways to deliver them. We implemented the Clean It Right program for operators and worked with our counterparts at TIAC and across the country with the tourism and territory associations to talk about the issues, find ways and solutions that we can advocate and lobby on behalf of industry and work together to have a stronger voice. Some of those projects that we took on and partnered with was the Coalition for the Hardest Hit Businesses. This was a partnership initiative through TIAC and a Hotel Association of Canada that we were a member of to really lobby the federal government, for the wage subsidy program extension. And we are very pleased to see that extended into the spring of next year. We worked with TIAC on a TIAC-led initiative to implement the federal tourism travel tax credit for Canadians, really to get out and explore Canada. We worked with our counterparts across the country to talk about insurance. We know that's an issue for our operators moving forward. We're in constant communication and sharing research when it comes to rapid testing, best practice learnings, and how we can work together to create change. One of the initiatives I mentioned was the Tourism Strong website. We do post a lot of our information for operators online here, so we certainly would suggest that you visit that website to get industry updates, research, and any government supports will be updated on that website as well. Another initiative that we partnered with TIAC on is the Elevating Canadian Experiences, and perhaps some of you have had the opportunity to take these sessions. This was really focused on product development, and while this initiative had started pre-COVID, we were very pleased to see these workshops for our members here on Prince Edward Island be adapted to the changes in our tourism environment. So when COVID hit, as you're all aware, we shut down here on Prince Edward Island, and we had no visitation, essentially. Our economy, our tourism industry was at a standstill. When we heard rumblings from the government on the potential Atlantic bubble opening, obviously there was a lot of optimism for a lot of our operators, and we were very excited at the potential to reach those Atlantic Canadians that may want to visit Prince Edward Island. I think it's important to note that we have typically 65% of our visitation come from those Atlantic provinces, but also important to note that those are generally shorter stay, lower yield visitation. So while a lot of our operators saw a lot of optimism and hope by that announcement, I think we were all hit with the harsh reality of how Islanders felt about the bubble opening. And we certainly applaud our Chief Public Health Office for keeping us safe and keeping those cases of COVID here on Prince Edward Island at a very low number. Unfortunately, with the announcement of the bubble became a lot of negative publicity in the media, not just here in Prince Edward Island and not just in Atlantic Canada. And I would specifically point out the Anne of Green Gables cartoon that ran, I believe, in the Globe and Mail. So this certainly isn't the vision that we want our guests to have of Prince Edward Island. We've really prided ourselves on being welcoming and friendly and being very open to tourism. So this was something that we took on right away here at TIPI. We wanted to address that with our local community, get your house in order, so to speak. So we started a campaign called That's Tourism. And the idea behind this campaign was really an organic social media campaign to help Islanders understand the importance, the value, and their role in the tourism industry here on Prince Edward Island. Going the wrong way, sorry. So with this campaign, we started at grassroots to say, have you ever offered directions to a passerby? You played a role in tourism. Chefs across Prince Edward Island, they play a role in our industry. Farmers, fishermen, arts, culture, history, all of these pieces are the ingredients to what makes tourism the main dish, so to speak, and really creates that impression and that memory for our guests. So we ran these through social media starting the end of July and into the fall. This ran in 3 different phases. The first phase was really that elementary, basic connection for all Islanders. Do you have a family member? Do you have a friend? Do you have a neighbor maybe that works in tourism and what that means? The second phase was to really educate Islanders on the fact that this isn't just a summer job. This isn't seasonal for a lot of people. This is their year-round career, and the importance of that and how it impacts our post-secondary education systems that we have here and professionals in various capacities. We recently kicked off at our conference here in Prince Edward Island another campaign, which really ties into the TIAC campaign with the Tourism Counts. This was really to elevate our That's Tourism campaign to the next level, to show Islanders really how hard hit our industry was this year and what that means for those individual operators. We needed to make a human connection, and we needed them to understand that some things can't be adapted or pivoted overnight, and it's really difficult for our industry and our operators right now, and that Islanders need to understand and support those operators. I'm going to play a video now of one of our operators sharing his story this year.
COVID is basically, we're only running about 24% of our usual business, and that's terrible. It's hard to survive. We ourselves are a large consumer of the local artisans, and we support over 100 from PEI. We also support another 150 right across Canada. And at this point, we cannot buy anything from them, so that effect is a ripple effect right across Canada that we cannot support over 250 families. And that's terrible. It's about 3/4 of our income. It's, financially wise, yes, it's about 3/4 of our income. It's a strain like we've never felt before, and you are trying to solve your problems at nighttime when you go home and trying to live through this thing. It's just horrifying. There's no tourists here, except for the small bubble of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and a few people from Newfoundland. And I thank those people for coming to PEI. And that's been a great thing for us to have happen. But it's not good. Well, we're a year-round operation, and we hope that people in the Maritimes will support us as best they can. And we're trying to stay above the high ground instead of going deep into it. If this stays next year, you're going to see a huge amount of businesses go out of businesses. The first 3 to 5 years in anybody's business is very crucial. The debt loads, and right now I can feel for those people, like the credit companies are going to be out there with both hands and both feet wanting their money back, and it's going to shut businesses down because they don't have the revenue to even pay their mortgages or the loans that they have through these credit people. If it stays the way it is, this island will turn into maybe a 2-month beach scene, and that'll be it. There won't be any golf courses running. There won't be hardly any retail stores. And we have local people from PEI who have basically come in our store over the last month and a half and saying that they hope that we do not close. They're just hoping that we don't have to. And it's hard, extremely hard. We have a lot of ladies who knit mittens for us, and we've asked them to basically stop knitting mittens for us because we don't have the sales for them. And so we have a tremendous amount of stock in the store right now. That's hard to do, to ask the ladies to stop knitting.
So for us, I think a video like that is incredibly powerful for...
COVID is basically...
Hitting the wrong button here.
Not
sure how to get past. There we go. Sorry about that. Those videos are really impactful, as you can see. They tell the story from a human perspective as opposed to the business perspective, and how many lives and how many people are impacted by one store. So we really want people to understand the difficult times and the uncertainty that COVID and this pandemic has placed on them. Another piece of the campaign that we're running is the social media campaign. And these are some of the infographics that we're running. And you'll see the Pledge Your Support. I do want to clarify, Pledge Your Support was really to stand in solidarity with our campaign and with our industry to say that you support us. It certainly isn't a monetary pledge of support, but really just to raise your hand to say, I understand you, we're here for you, and we support you. With the campaign, we've ran this through LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and we've had really great response, I think, overall from the community. We've had a number of people reach out to us and say they feel bad for the industry and how can we help, and we want to support local. So I think it's important to continue to do that. Something else that's really important to note is that while we deal with our local CPHO here on Prince Edward Island, we do talk to our counterparts with the other provinces and territories and their tourism industry associations to talk about those best practices. So whether that takes into account the sanitization and the cleanliness standards or the health measures and social distancing measures, those all come into play too. And I'm incredibly proud of how our industry has been able to adapt to those changes and continue to operate. Another component of our campaign that is incredibly important to note is the faces of our industry. And when I say the faces of our industry, these are the faces of Islanders. These are our friends, our families, our neighbors, and even our premier. So this is something that we really wanted to engage everyone in, to say they support the industry and they understand the struggles. I'm going to play one last video, and this is the quick one, and then we will follow up with a little bit more.
Now more than ever, tourism counts.
Now more than ever.
Tourism counts.
Now more than ever, tourism counts.
Now more than ever, tourism counts.
So that's the TV commercial that we have for a 9-week campaign. I can click this over and over. And I guess the next question is, now what? Now what do we do? The pandemic, we are in the middle of seeing a second wave move across Canada. And while we have copious amounts of research and we continue to collect that research and that data, how does our industry adapt and what does that look like? I think we all know that travelers and guests will not be the same as what they were. And I think it's important to note that they will be more mindful. So I think mindful tourism is something we will talk about more often than not moving forward. Sustainable tourism and the environment, these are all key elements that we continue to talk about and I think have been brought to light. And this will be that catalyst of change. And while change is uncomfortable for many of us, we've been forced into a situation where we need to do just that. We will work with our counterparts again across the country and with Tourism PEI and ACOA to collect that research and that data and disseminate that to our operators so that they are as informed as possible when making those decisions, whether it be on staying open, product changes, product enhancements, and really redefining and reimagining what their operations may be moving forward. There's a certification program Tourism PEI is rolling out, hopefully in the next few months, that I think will be key for our operators and our industry. And something that I've talked about a lot is that community confidence in what we do. And PEI has had the luxury of a growing tourism industry for I think 9 years straight now. So we haven't had to spend a whole lot of time thinking about what our next door neighbors think of our industry and do they really understand the impact and the role that it plays in our economy. So that's really important to us moving forward. And with that, so is the traveler sentiment. We know that they will be more cautious and more wary. We want to be ready and we want Islanders to be ready so that when we are in a position of reopening our border again to the public and welcoming people back, that they feel welcome and they feel safe. So that training program I think will be key. We plan to spend a lot of time time helping operators this winter, those that are open, certainly to try to drive some Atlantic Canadian winter tourism our way. We are challenged, certainly, and these are difficult times for all of us. So I think it's important to keep those lines of communication open and continue to work together to find ways to adapt and innovate. And we've had some great success stories here on Prince Edward Island, and we just had the indicator report come out, and while they're far from what they were in 2019, they are pacing in the right direction. So to see islanders out and those numbers up supporting our industry with staycations, again, they aren't the numbers that are going to make up the losses of what we're seeing year to year, and certainly far from what any of us anticipated. We are starting to go in the right direction. So moving forward, we hope to produce and offer webinars and workshops to the industry in the upcoming weeks on, product development, marketing. The province is working on rolling out the tactical plan for this winter, and then again for the summer plan. So we will work very closely with them in rolling that out. I would open the floor to questions. Seeing no questions, I want to thank you all for joining us, and please reach out anytime.
Thank you to all our provincial and territorial partners. Merci à tous nos partenaires provinciaux et territoriaux. Voilà ce qui nous amène à conclure le Congrès touristique de l'AITC. It has been a packed 2 days. Don't worry if you've missed any sessions, as recorded sessions will be available to members on the TIAC website. You'll be able to access recorded sessions beginning on November 23rd. Please join us at 2:30 p.m. Eastern for an industry social and celebration with Air Canada, Destination Toronto, and WestJet, as we honor our Hall of Fame inductees, present our Lifetime Achievement Award, and put on a special salute to Canadian tourism. Joignez-vous à nous à 14h30 heure de l'Est pour une activité sociale et une cérémonie organisée par Air Canada, Destination Toronto et WestJet. Nous rendrons hommage aux personnes intronisées au Temple de la Renommée, remettrons notre prix d'excellence pour l'ensemble des réalisations et saluerons tout particulièrement le tourisme canadien. Merci encore d'avoir été les nôtres pour ce tout premier congrès touristique virtuel de l'AITC. Et n'oubliez pas le mot-clic, le tourisme compte. Thank you so much for joining us for this first ever virtual TIAC Tourism Congress. I'm Catherine Callery, and it's been my distinct pleasure and honor to be your MC on this very important Tourism Congress for 2020. It's been quite a year, but we're going to get through this together as an industry. This is a very resilient industry, and it shows the importance of all of us gathering here today and tuning in. We've had over 3,000 registrants tune in over the last 2 days. It just shows the importance of coming together. So keep at it. We're going to get through this. And remember, #tourism counts.